Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk about what makes kids so materialistic. I thought this would be an interesting topic to bring to you guys so we can talk about it, but if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys. So I was browsing around on the internet like I usually do, and I came across this article. It was written by Christine Carter, PhD. She is a senior fellow at the Greater Good Science Center. She's written this article. I think this article is really interesting when you relate it to families like the Dougherty Dozen and the Ace family, the LeBrant family. You see these kids of family vloggers being very materialistic at a young age, and obviously it's the parents that are making them this way. But if I could cite an actual professional and share with you guys what they have to say, I figured that it would make for an interesting conversation. So I'm just going to read this article, and then I want you guys to sound out down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And I think that it'll be an interesting comment section. So it starts off by saying, the kids and I are preparing to go to a friend's party where we'll be wrapping presents for less fortunate children, like those spending Christmas in one of our local hospitals. Also knowing that the Salvation Army near us has said it's short on toys this year, I asked each of my kids to take stock of their favorite toys or books and select a few in really good shape for us to donate. Choose 5, I suggested, one for every new toy that they would hope to be getting for Christmas. I thought this seemed like a nice holiday tradition for us to start, and I'd hope that they would get the non-materialistic message. Molly, however, heard something else. What? She screamed. I'm only getting 5 toys for Christmas? I want more than that. And there were nearly tears. Holy cow, you'd think that my kids would have escaped all the materialistic mayhem at this time of year with what their preachy mother and zero exposure to toy advertising, as we don't get any TV stations and I don't listen to the radio. Apparently not. Paranoid that despite my best efforts, I'm raising materialistic consumers, I decided to look into why some kids are so materialistic while others could care less about having the latest stuff. And I also want to say, obviously, you can have materialistic kids and they're not necessarily vocal about it, but it's like those underlying expectations that I see a lot of family vloggers setting for their kids. And you are literally shaping them to be this way for the rest of their life. But let's continue. She said, turns out that there are 2 things that influence how materialistic kids are. The first is obvious. Consciously or not, we adults socialize kids to be materialistic. When parents as well as peers and celebrities model materialism, kids care more about wealth and luxury. So when parents are materialistic, kids are likely to follow suit. Same thing with television viewing. The more TV kids watch, the more likely they are to be materialistic. The less obvious factor behind materialism has to do with the degree to which our needs are being filled. When people feel insecure or unfulfilled because of poverty or because basic psychological need like safety, competence, connectedness, or autonomy isn't being met, they often try to quell their insecurity by striving for wealth and a lot of fancy stuff. Because of this, relatively poor teenagers ironically tend to be more materialistic than wealthy ones, and less nurturing and more emotionally cold mothers tend to have more materialistic offspring. That is ringing some bells. So materialism and the behaviors that go with it, desiring and buying brand name clothes and luxury items, can be symptoms of insecurity and a coping strategy used to alleviate feelings of self-doubt or bolster a poor self-image. But if what kids are really seeking is greater happiness and fulfillment, materialism is a terrible coping method. At best, it will only provide short-term relief. In the long run, it's actually going to deepen feelings of insecurity. One way to curb kids' materialism is to limit their exposure to advertising. Another way, it turns out, is to try to meet their emotional needs, not the not the material ones. On that front, the research I cover in this blog suggests some good places to start practicing gratitude, for example, or by emotion coaching, even simply eating dinner together. Now, I talk a lot about how Alicia Dougherty specifically, and yes, I'm going to use her as an example, is not nurturing. She throws materialistic stuff at her kids, thinking that that is gonna make them happy, and they're, not gonna be upset with anything. And that's her way of trying to pacify them and show them love. But as you can see in this article, clearly it can do more damage than it can good. I think all of this is really interesting, especially when you consider exposing kids to advertising. Social media is one big advertisement. And these kids of family vloggers, a lot of them have their own devices. They are on social media. They're watching YouTube. They're watching TikToks. They are being advertised to 24/7. And this is yet another reason why children should be protected from social media until they are at an age where they can actually comprehend what the internet is, what internet safety looks like, age appropriately, what a digital footprint is, and why you have to be super, super careful about what you're listening to and taking at face value online. Kids seeking happiness and fulfillment are not going to actually truly be satisfied by having, video games and a new iPhone and a bunch of new nail polish and new shoes and all of this kind of stuff. That's just not how minds work. And I'm definitely not a doctor. I'm not a mental health professional, but Miss Christine is. So that's why I wanted to share her article with you guys. I think that this is really interesting when you take this article and directly compare it to the actions of people like Alicia Dougherty, even people like Kendall Rich. Kendall Rich buys a bunch of crap for her kids. These parents that are buy, what are you really creating? You're creating a child who is wanting so much more from you, and it has nothing to do with a dollar bill. But I did want to share this with you guys. I can't wait to hear what you have to say in the comments below. If you guys are parents, like, how do you deal with advertising and your kids? Are your kids on social media? Are they old enough to kind of start to recognize what's going on? I can't wait to see the comments. So for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.